we played a team who was actually in Germany division, which is 4 divisions higher. It was the only game I could get because a lot of other teams had league games. And yeah, again, we got outclassed, 3-1 down at halftime. And we weren't necessarily playing bad. It was just the other team was just a class above, because they were just looking way better. But I knew we could get back into this game if we were just a bit more defensively solid and a bit more clinical, because we were a little wasteful in the first half. And yeah, that second half, we had a hat-trick hero. And yeah, we won that game 4-3. And it was just another incredibly rewarding moment where it's like, from a team with just less than a year of experience, we beat this team who has a lot more experience, who are a lot more divisions higher. And it just gave that faith and belief that, no matter what division we're in, this season, next season, we can compete. And that really made me feel happy personally.
Hi all, and welcome to Grassroots Grind. I'm your host, Ray Rampu. In this episode, I'm joined by Hassan, one of the youngest coaches I've had on the show. At just 20 years old, he built his under-11s team from scratch at Central Park All-Stars and took them from losing 14 out of 16 friendlies to go on to an unbeaten run in the league. We talk about earning respect as a young coach, incredible comeback stories, and what it takes to start from zero. Now let's dive in. Hi Hassan, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us.
Hi Race, I'm doing well, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come onto the show. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Hassan, tell me a little bit about your journey and what's inspired you to get into coaching.
So from a young age, I loved football, loved playing football. Never really played for a team, but in school. And when COVID hit, I was in college and I just noticed I just stopped playing football completely. And I turned to online games, Football Manager, FIFA, and I really enjoyed managing a team. So last year, my brother was in Central Park All-Stars and he was under 13 at the time. And they were looking for an assistant manager. So I put my name forward to help them with their Saturday training and their Sunday matches. And for 6 months until March 2024, I was assistant manager for them, and the opportunity came up where the chairman were looking to create another team because we had an excess of players who were at that time in year 4 and 5. So I put my name forward and we started the whole process where I created a team, which was at that time under 10, now under 11s. And yeah, from March to about June, July, we played a lot of friendlies. I'd say about 15 or so every other week we'd play a friendly just in preparation for this season. And this has been our first proper season. My team, the Central Park All-Star Under 11 Jaguars. It's been our first season in the Echo League. We're in the Kenya division and the Festival Cup is about to begin. So that will mark the end of our season. And next year will be our second season at Under 12s.
Right. And you mentioned was it at college by 2020? When COVID hit?
Yes, I was starting college when COVID hit. It actually hit when I was in the back end of my GCSE year, and then basically all the lockdowns and everything happened the first year college and a bit of the second year. So just really killed any football I was playing or anything of that sort. So I just turned to online games because everyone was stuck at home at the time.
Wow. So you're a very young coach then?
Yeah, I'm 20.
20. Wow. So has that kind of is any like taking it back to your coaching when you used to play, has it kind of influenced any part of your coaching?
Definitely, I'd say so. Yeah, the experiences of playing in the past, and then when you see the kids play, it just old memories click in, and it is definitely helpful. The previous experiences that I've had. Yeah.
I see. And what's kind of been like your biggest challenges as a young coach? Because as you say, you're only 20. Some of the coaches that I've interviewed are probably in their mid to late 30s, 40s, late 40s. Some of them, and they've had like a, let's just say a knowledge bank of experiences and things that they've come across. But yourself being just only a young 20-year-old, what's kind of been some of your biggest challenges over the last 18 months, 24 months that you've been now coaching?
Definitely the lack of experience, I'd say. Like a lot of the coaches or teams we come up against, their coaches are, 30, 40 years old, and they do have that experience to help them. And I'd also say towards the beginning, when I first, because we had the excess of kids, so I had to approach the parents, and I don't think all of them took it too seriously at the beginning. They were thinking it was, just something playful. But I'd definitely say after towards the end of that campaign, or when we were doing all our friendlies, they definitely took it seriously because they saw the training. I even ran midweeks because all those boys, they never played before, so they just needed as much prep as possible before the beginning of this season. And I think, yeah, at the start that was definitely something where the parents, they didn't know how committed I was. And fair enough, at that time I was pretty young still. But yeah, I think definitely now that's no longer an issue, and yeah, get along well with the parents. But I definitely say an ongoing one is the experience, but that's just on the job that I'll learn.
I see. And do you ever feel, because you're a young coach and you've only just started, do you ever feel that you have to kind of prove yourself more because of your age? How do you kind of, if any, how do you handle that?
Definitely, it's definitely something that lingers in my mind. So it's just like, going above and beyond sort of thing. Just training really hard, getting a good rapport, relationship with the children and their parents, and just showing that I am dedicated and just being on top of the logistical side of things. I'd say that definitely helps. And the parents, they really appreciate that, just uh, give them all the correct information, let them know, and just stay on top of things. And I feel like that has definitely helped a lot, just being on top of everything.
I see. So, remind me again the club that you represent. It's Central Park. Is that correct?
Yep, Central Park All Stars. I'm
Central
actually
Park.
wearing one of their shirts.
Oh,
Central Park.
right.
Yeah, Central Park All Stars.
For the viewers, if you see that
Yeah,
logo nearby in was it East London?
yeah. East Ham. We train at Central Park. So if you're interested, definitely bring your son or daughter. We have women's, girls teams as well. Bring them down on a Saturday, and yeah, it's a really good family-oriented club.
And what makes that club kind of stand out in the grassroots community?
I'll definitely say what makes it stands out is the culture. Like honestly, we have hundreds of children come through, and the amount of teams in each age group that we have is just exponential. And the coaches, utmost of they're really professional. What I'm trying to say, and they keep a good relationship with the parents. The kids really enjoy it. I think that's the main thing about youth football is just making sure the kids are enjoying themselves. And when they do that, they go to school. They tell their friends like, "Oh, I went here on Saturday." And I really had a good time, and then their friends tell their parents, and it's like the snowball effect. Because when the club started in I think sometime during COVID, 2020 or 2021, around about there. There was only one or two teams, but now we have I think at least a dozen or more teams, and it's just been great to see how far we've come. And there's still a lot more to go. We're generally, compared to other clubs that we come up against, we're a really young club.
That is amazing, and the fact that you have, as you say, a dozen or more teams. That's really good. What's the age range? Are they all quite in the like the under sevens, under tens, under twelves, or are they actually older in the teens?
So we have an under nines team. We have three under 11 teams. I have one under 11 team myself. We have two under 12 teams. We have an under 13s team and two under 14s team. And then in terms of the girls teams, I'm not too sure, but we do have a fair few amount of girls teams as well.
Oh wow! And they're all girls. They're not mixed.
No, no, not mixed. Girls are kept separate, and the boys are generally kept separate. That too, I know of. Yeah. So the girls teams, they play up against other girls on Sundays, and yeah, they're enjoying it a lot as well.
Right. Are they part of the Echo League as well?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Great stuff. So, walk me through some of your how many times a week do you train with your kids?
So right now we train Saturdays 9 a.m. to 12, and it's literally at the local park. It's so easy. Parents always come walking by, and we train for 3 hours on a Saturday, and then Sundays is match day. So yeah, we just train Saturday and Sunday. However, last in the build up season, I call it, where we did all the friendlies. I also did a midweek session on Wednesdays for hour and a half, and I definitely say in this during the summer, so it was easy for parents as well, and that was really good. But for now, it's just Saturdays we train, and Sundays we play matches.
Wow, 3 hours is quite a fair bit. I bet the kids are exhausted afterwards.
You'd be surprised. Bundles of energy.
Great stuff. So walk
Yeah.
us through your typical training session. Like, how do you kind of plan your drills and your warm ups in that 3 hour window that you have with your kids on Saturday?
Yeah, so we keep it in this structure. So 9:05 we begin. Everybody's there usually by then. What we start with is a run, just for the cardio. So we do a few laps, have set a running path set up and they know what to do. It's a second memory to them by this point. And then after that, they do stretches, just to prevent any injuries and it just helps them a lot, gets them, ready. And after that, we have drills for about 2 hours. So drills include rondos, so get everyone in a circle, put someone in the middle, pass around them. So it helps the person in the middle just keep help their running and such, and passing around, passing under pressure. We do shooting drills, we do set piece drills, corners, free kicks, and penalties. And towards the end of sessions, we like to, because for my team personally, we have a pretty big squad, 18. So we like to do uh, nine-a-side games. So, make the teams even. I'll ref it and we do nine-a-side games. And I'd say that definitely helps in preparation for the match day, which is Sunday, which is the next day.
Wow, 18 players. That's practically two teams, right? Because you're playing 9v9. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the thing is, I haven't signed everyone. So it's recently we've actually got a couple of new recruits. So before we were at 15 or so, and that was pretty manageable. But now we got a fair few players, and yeah, I think right now we're kept out at 18 for on Saturdays.
I see. So they're not. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, is that they're not necessarily match fit, but they come along to train. Is that
Uh,
correct?
yeah, yeah. So I'd say that the kids that come just now, they got the talent. They just have to work to it because a lot of the other guys, they joined throughout. So throughout coming last year, and they had to train at least 2 or 3 months before myself and my co my other coach thought they were ready for it. So it just takes a couple of months to build up that match fitness, the rhythm, and just just so they can be in that game setting and those matches. I'd say towards the end of training, which we do for about 45 minutes to an hour, that definitely helps just get them understanding of that. This is how we play, and this is what a match setting would look like typically.
I see. And in regards to kind of like your training and your whole approach, have you had any sort of mentors or coaching influences that's kind of shaped your approach with how you deal with your team?
I'd say the coach who was the head coach of the under 13s, my brother's team, he's still the head coach now, and they're having a really great season, which is nice. I'd say he definitely helped me a lot because I was assistant at the time. I'd help him set up, and I'd just pick up some of the drills. And in terms of conflict resolution, I think that's a big one because boys get a bit sometimes. And but no, I'd just say definitely his conflict resolution was really good. And even today we had a incident where a couple of boys got into it a little bit. But end of the day, they 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 spoke it out, shook hands, and yeah, the teammates. So it happens. So they fight and they make up. And I'd definitely say that helped in terms of mentoring, just that conflict resolution.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
That's quite interesting. That does happen. I see that happen quite a fair bit in teams.
yeah, yeah.
So, in regards to this conflict resolution, how do you kind of connect with your players and earn their respect as a younger coach?
I'll definitely say that it's not about it's not about being too strict or too laid back. I'll try to be somewhat in the middle. So, be laid back, have some banter, ask them, how's your week been? And, get to know them about what football team you support and then just have a bit of back and forth with them about, how their team got on in the weekend. And I definitely say that, we encourage open communication. Anything they can come to me, they can go to the other coach and they can talk about. And I definitely say that helps a lot. But, you definitely have to be a bit more strict when it comes to certain things, like if they're messing around too much or yeah, they're not listening. You definitely have to just put your foot down. And I'd say that it took a while, but yeah, I definitely got the confidence and the respect of the team. And yeah, it was a journey.
Cool. And like if you're trying to give feedback to them, how are they responding? How do you kind of balance that out?
So every kid is different. Some kids you need to put an arm around their shoulder and explain. Some kids you have to be a bit more firm, a bit more strict. And I definitely say that it's a player by player thing. But yeah, we just try. And just mainly, I'd say the approach that works for 90% of the players, you put an arm around them, you explain like, okay, you're doing this wrong, or you can do this to improve your game, enhance your game, or yeah. And then some players you have to be a bit more firm and be like, no, this is not good at all, and you got to fix it up, and then they do fix it up. But it's just about getting to know the players and who reacts how way, because what we want is after we speak to them, we want them to elevate their performance, and that's the main thing.
I see. And how do you feel that you could probably help those players develop? Like, take it back to maybe if you're telling a player that some of the stuff that you're trying to teach them in terms of the drill or the lessons or the sessions are not necessarily working. How if any, do you kind of help them on a tactical basis develop? Is there any? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in terms of that, it hasn't been too much of an issue. But if they don't understand it one way, we try and teach it another way. And another thing is, I have like a tactics board, just a small whiteboard with like those things, and then you show like formation, you show what happens in each scenario. And I definitely say some kids are more visual learners, some you could explain it more. So, yeah, I'd say that by this point, definitely nailed down which kids respond this way, because each kid is different. Some kids want to see
Yeah.
stuff visually, some just want to listen. So yeah, honestly, at this point, it's pretty nailed down, and we're glad with how it's going.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
And do you kind of feel that is it? By the way, is it just yourself that coach that team? Do you have like another coach, or is it just yourself that looks after your team?
No, I have another coach. So when I first came with that group, he was just training them on a Saturdays because he didn't want the responsibility of Sundays, just in terms of logistically. So he would just train the kids who didn't have teams and were just there. So I coach with him, and I have another coach. He comes, does our line on Sunday, and
Mm.
yeah, he's just a good help as well, just to setting up all of that. So in total, three of us, and the parents are extremely helpful as well on Sundays. If they need to line, or just help out, bringing kids such and such. So yeah, it's a pretty good team bond we have at the moment.
Sounds good. So, bearing in mind you've only been coaching between 18 to 24 months, right?
Yeah,
What's been your biggest challenge so far in grassroots football for yourself, or
challenge.
what do you feel from your observation you see as the biggest challenge in grassroots football today?
On it, because I don't have a lot of experience. My answers may vary, but for me, I'd say the toughest part was definitely starting out with the team, especially because nowadays you have kids starting at under 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they have all that league experience. For the kids that are currently in my team, they have just school football, regular school football, never really played league. So I'd definitely say that starting period was incredibly tough. We played, how many was it? Like 4 months worth of friendlies, so a friendly every single week. So what's that, 16? And out of that, we lost 14, and we only won twice. And funnily enough, I think we played against your team as well as a very early game on, which was a great game. Just helped us a lot. But yeah, I think that was definitely the toughest. Just that start point where you have to, no pain, no gain. So you just had to get those results out of the way and just get the kids, learning that muscle memory, having those experiences, and just build some of that toughness. A lot of those losses were big losses, but I definitely say that helped them, and it still helps us to this day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get that, and I guess the only way that they learn is by facing some of these teams. That's quite a challenge for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, where do you see yourself as a young coach now? So, where do you see yourself in about 5 or 10 years' time? Do you have any aspirations to move to higher levels of coaching?
Honestly, I haven't really thought that far about it, but
Hmm.
definitely for the foreseeable future, for the next 1, 2, 3 years, I'd like to remain with this team. It's just that because it's my first team as well, a very special bond I have with them, and the season's been going well so far. Everybody's happy, and going into next season, I'm just thinking, it's the step up. We go into under 12s, which is secondary school, so I believe there will be a league trophy as well. So that's when it starts to get serious, and I really think we can do special things with this team. And I'd say for the foreseeable, I'd like to stay with them, and then later on, 5, 10 years in the future, who knows? Maybe I might be with another team, but I'd definitely like to stay where I am at this moment. Yeah.
Great stuff. And if there was other young people out there, probably in the same boat as you, thinking about getting into coaching, what advice would you like to give them?
Honestly, go for it. Like whenever you just go to your local youth club and volunteer. I believe always looking for help. A lot of clubs, and once you get your foot in the door, you can start as an assistant somewhere, and then maybe you get the opportunity if you want to take your own team. That really helps, and it just it is a great feeling, seeing the kids go from no experience and not playing that well. And then when they're doing well, they're really happy, they're winning, their parents are happy. And it just feels, a nice, glowing feeling inside, when everything's going well and you can see the fruits of your labor. I'd definitely say just go for it. Just go volunteer. And, who knows where you could be in the next year, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year.
Yeah. And do you bringing it back to your team when you play your matches or do your drills? Do you tend to, in terms of development, do you tend to rotate most of your kids around to different positions, or do you tend to stick them into maybe one or two areas?
Yeah, in the beginning when we had a lot of friendlies, I tried everyone everywhere, and then after a certain amount of games, we could deduct where each player is at their strongest, and even now we got a few new players now. We're trying them every what 1 week we'll train them striker, 1 week midfield, 1 week defense, and just see where their attributes are best, and then once we find out, just train them as hard as possible there, and then maybe in the future, if we believe they can play another position, we can train them in that. Versatility is a huge thing, and it's just really helpful. Yeah.
Do you kind of take on the winning structure over the development, or do you kind of mix the two together?
I'd definitely say for now we mix the two together. So so for the friendlies, everyone who comes, they get at least, we play 60-minute games. Everyone gets at least 25 to 30 minutes. So match days, sometimes I take 12 free subs, 13 four subs, 14 five subs. And no matter how many come, we always give them the game time in the league and in friendlies. So yeah, that's the main thing. I don't want to drag some poor parent out there and then their kid doesn't even get a proper run out. That would be a terrible feeling. And they're still kids at the end of the day. So you just want to give them their fair shot. And if it's clear that they're not at that level currently, then you have that conversation then. But when they're there at the match, you give them a chance to prove themselves, and you give them a chance to play, and just make friends, be happy, because yeah, I'll definitely. But yeah, with the cup upcoming, maybe need to be a bit more firm on the winning. But I'll definitely say I'm really happy with this season in terms of in the league, we've given everyone their fair share of minutes, and we've had a pretty big squad.
I see, I see. And you have your matches, is it Flanders Field? Is that correct?
Yes, our home matches are at Flanders Field.
That's a cricket ground, isn't it?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah.
So, how, if anything, how are you trying to balance the match time with cricket season, and how you or the club is juggling that?
So unfortunately, in regards to that, it's I never really thought about it before winter time. So the cricket season's only from spring to summer, and that begins in April, mid-April. And unfortunately, our cup run, quarterfinal, semi-final, etc., is after the end of April. So regardless, we're gonna have to play away games. So that's one negative aspect of it being a cricket field. And after the cup, if I want friendlies, it's gonna have to be away from home. So I definitely say that that's a negative aspect of it being a cricket field. But in terms of the league season, yeah, we've had Flanders as long as possible. But yeah, I definitely say I would have liked to have it maybe up till the summer, which would have been nice. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's the situation we're in.
I see. And do you feel that could be diverted if there was more funding from higher levels of maybe within the FA to kind of try and source a different ground or different facilities for your club?
Definitely, funding would definitely help, but yeah, it's just the situation we're in, and there, there's a local cricket club, and they use that field for their, league matches. I'm not sure, but it is what it is, isn't it? I'm not going to complain about it, but yeah, I'm just glad Flanders is a great field and a great place to play.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what's kind of been the most rewarding part of your coaching so far in your short space of time?
So in terms of like a match or
Either, any. Tell me all the stories. I'd like to hear.
the most rewarding, there've definitely been a few. So I'll give two examples. So okay, there's this. I won't name any names, of course. There was this team in our league, very good team, very good record. The manager spoke beforehand, and a very impressive start to this season. We played them in a friendly. Uh, I think there was a free week we both had in October or November. We played a friendly, lost 4-2. That team incredibly strong, and it was just we got purely outclassed. However, in December, late December before Christmas, raining, terrible conditions. We played them at home for a league match, which was proper. We went 2-0 down within 5 minutes, poor defensive mistakes. And I was thinking, is this going to be a loss? Because we lost our first two league games this season, but since then we've gone unbeaten, which is good. So I was a bit worried, like, are we going to collapse now? However, the boys really, really turned it around. It's just like a flick switched in their head, and it was just some of the best football I've seen them play. And it was just like a moment like, wow, from there to here, it's just been amazing. And we ended up winning that game 5-2. It was just a turnaround, and the boys were just relentless. And yeah, it was just pouring down rain. The pitch was destroyed. And honestly, it was a really happy moment. And I'm really glad that that game was actually recorded. And, it's just nice to watch back the clips of the goals and the celebrations. And wow, that was an incredible memory. And one more I'd say was just a bit more recently, where we had a free week again, and I wanted to get a friendly against a team in a higher division just to see how we'd cope. And we played a team who was actually in Germany division, which is 4 divisions higher. It was the only game I could get because a lot of other teams had league games. And yeah, again, we got outclassed, 3-1 down at halftime. And we weren't necessarily playing bad. It was just the other team was just a class above, because they were just looking way better. But I knew we could get back into this game if we were just a bit more defensively solid and a bit more clinical, because we were a little wasteful in the first half. And yeah, that second half, we had a hat-trick hero. And yeah, we won that game 4-3. And it was just another incredibly rewarding moment where it's like, from a team with just less than a year of experience, we beat this team who has a lot more experience, who are a lot more divisions higher. And it just gave that faith and belief that, no matter what division we're in, this season, next season, we can compete. And that really made me feel happy personally.
That's nice to hear. That is really great to hear.
Yeah.
You mentioned you recorded your game. Do you use any sort of special recording facilities, or is it just a phone with a tripod?
No, so we have a cameraman for our club, and
Right.
occasionally he goes to each team and that takes photo videos, clips of games, and it's just so happened that for that game he was allocated to us. And I was thinking when we went 2-0 down that, oh, he's just gonna have to scrap everything, but I was really glad he was there in the end. He got all the goals, got everything. And yeah, but we don't have like a VO or anything like that, because like other clubs do. But it would be really nice to just to
Right.
watch the game after.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
If parents or children are thinking of joining your club, do you have an online presence that they could link to?
Yeah, we have an Instagram. Just and a TikTok. They can go check that out. Central Park All Stars, and it just it shows clips from every match and training videos and such. And I definitely say the online presence has grown a lot. We've got more followers and we get more views. And yeah, just whenever we get clips, we put them online. And some of them have gone not a little, well, a little viral. A couple thousand views here and there. But it's nice. And I definitely say that the chairman was telling me that a lot of parents, when he asks, "Oh, why did you bring your kid here?" It's either friend of a friend, or it's either I've seen you on Instagram or TikTok. So I'll definitely say it's helping a lot.
Great stuff. And there's contact details on those handles, right?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Great stuff. Hassan, you've been a great guest today. I appreciate your time. It's been really good. It's actually really nice to listen to your stories and to just see how far you've come over the last 18 to 24 months. So thank you so much for your time today. I wish yourself and your team all the best of luck for the Festival Cup, which is ongoing right now. And I guess I'm sure we'll meet again.
Definitely. Thank you for having me on. It's been a real pleasure. I love the channel. Please subscribe, guys. And yeah, I wish your club the best as well. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks again, Hassan.